Come and catch the vibe. Welcome to Easy Weekend.
It's Easy Weekends.
Cats can't see me.
All right, welcome back. It's the sit down. You know how we do. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Comment, because we need the algorithms to algorithm. All right. Today we got Chef Catore in the building. I met her at the Daniel's Leather Fashion Show, and she actually brought some food up to us a couple weeks ago, and I decided to have her up because she's got a story to tell. So, Miss Chef Catore, hello.
Hello again. How are you?
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I can't complain. I know that you're tired.
I am full of energy now, a little bit from this morning. 4 a.m. wake up, cooking, but I think I got some energy that's pumping into me right now.
What were you cooking for today?
Today was meal prep.
Oh.
So all meal prep, so Chilean sea bass and tricolor carrots and just a bunch of healthy stuff.
So how did you get into cooking? Let's start there.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so I have this thing that I say that I never thought I was going to become a chef. You couldn't have put the word chef in my trajectory. I was a caseworker for social services for 11 years. Really quick, quick synopsis. Got sick at work, ended up passing out, found out I had a brain tumor. I was on stage 3 ovarian cancer. So you know like how when you're in the street and people are drilling holes like into the ground?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt in my head. It felt like a drill was going off. And after like maybe a week or so, the whole right side of my body shut down.
Oh my God.
So what happened was the nerves in my brain basically triggered off. And I could not move the right side of my body. So in talks with my lawyer, because at the time I was working and I couldn't work no more. So I was like, what do? I never had a job before. She said, when you finish, I had 3 surgeries. She said, when you finish your last surgery and you're back to like full function or whatever functionality you're going to be at, you should go to culinary school. I said, what? I said, the point of this is to not be expendable again. I don't want to work for nobody. And she goes, no, like there's other things in culinary you should really, expand on. So I actually went to business entrepreneurship school and I got a certification with Operation Hope with business entrepreneurship. So I learned the business of the business, LLCs, staffing, everything. Then I went to culinary school. But you could not have told me that literally within a year of graduating culinary school that I would be a private chef. So I actually went to work for Danielle Boulard. Then I worked for the Mercer Kitchen with Jean George and Chris Besheber. Then I went right to Barclays. I went to work for NICWIF, New York Wine and Food Festival. The chef loved me so much, he brought me over as his starting staff for the executive suite at Barclays. Ended up working directly in the court, where the ball players are, where they actually like change and everything and come to eat. They have a private section. Torian Prince picked me up. His manager called me. I became his private chef. Quickly after, I did a stage for Caris LeVert, and then I just started like branching myself out from there. Went to work for Tyler Perry Studios for 42 days. Then I worked for Kevin Hart sponsored foundation Try Hungry, who I still work for. And just I literally, and then I worked for the catering companies that started me off, Operation Hope, and then all my friends, family, friends of friends, and referrals. And I just kind of just flew off within a year. Like I didn't know how to fillet a fish, let alone base filet mignon. Like I didn't even know what mignon was. Like I've ruined so many steaks.
So were you like learning on the job?
Yes, I was learning on the job. Literally, like I didn't know half the stuff that was being asked of me because all I knew I was a cook was soul food. My grandmother was a caterer. My aunt was a pastry chef. So I had cooking in me, but I always thought I was going to be a super social worker. I'm a product of foster care. I've been in foster care since I was 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
I ran away from home when I was 7.
Why?
And my mother, drugs, abuse. I just got tired one day. She was in the back doing her thing, and I took my little brother, ran out the house, and never turned back. Called my grandma, went like 4 houses down, went to this lady's house, knocked on her door. She called my grandmother, called my aunt. They pulled up in a red Cadillac, picked us up, never turned back.
Wow.
Like literally stayed with them, eventually went into foster care, the foster care system. And that's like all I knew all my life until I turned 21 and I aged out. I actually ended up working for the foster care agency that I was in foster care with.
Wow.
SEO Family Services. So I literally went from a pre-referral specialist all the way into like executive directorship within like 11 years. So I wanted to be the one who helped everybody to age out of foster care properly. Because to them, when I became a chef and I started branching off, I was looked at as a success story. So
You
I'm like,
are.
I wanted to tell them, like, look, there's life outside of foster care. You know, there's life outside of depression. There's life outside of feeling alone, like you don't have family. I did it. You can do it too.
God bless you.
It's a lot.
I told y'all she had a
It's
story.
a lot.
I told y'all.
It's a lot. And I think it's so much more, but I know we're on a time.
Go ahead. What else you got? What else you got?
I mean, it was a transition. Like, you have to understand, like, when you're in foster care, you're alone. I've had so many birthdays with foster parents that would just leave a cake sitting outside, like just literally a cake sitting in the kitchen, and they would close all doors to me. Like, I was not a part of the family. So imagine going from that to now you're in a whole nother dimension in culinary, and you don't even know where to start. So you're alone. So it's kind of like transitioning over, you know, as far as like depression and figuring it out and finding your chef family and your culinary family. And then, not to mention, every month I get 26 needles in my head because they have to keep the inflammation down. So that's also scary. When I when they couldn't find out what my condition was, and I had my first neurosurgeon, we found another neurosurgeon that actually found what my condition was. I used to lay literally in my bed every day. I remember one day, and I used to cry. And then one day I was like facing the wall, and I said, hold up. I said, if I've been through so much stuff already, you understand, from foster care to abuse to abandonment. I said, if I can literally get through this is exactly what I said in my head. If I can get through this, I know God has something way greater planned for me. I literally just have to, and from that moment, I literally got up and started slowly walking. I used to have to hold my head and take like one step at a time because it was like a triggering effect. So I had to literally hold my head like this, and then I would take one step. My girlfriend Janine, she came to stay with me from Chicago. She laid in the bed with me every single day for 3 months until I could start walking. She took me to all my doctor's appointments. My Aunt Michelle would come over. She would watch after me. My friend Antoine Braxton would come. He would do my runs for me. My friend Erin Hawkins would come. She would do all my runs and my driving for me. Like, even if like I hit a bump in the road, like my head went off into a triggering effect. So it was very, very, it was like an alone moment. Literally, as soon as I started walking, my whole life just changed. Like, it changed. Like, it was like God was testing me to see. I always say when I was younger, I think I was born to endure pain because I handled it so well. Like, I literally handled.
Nobody should go through that type of pain.
But I handled it well. Like, I was so good at taking it on and getting through it. Like, I found ways to cope through pain all my life. So I think that he was just saying, look, you done been through so much. If you get through this last test, I have something great for you. Like, it never, like, I'll say this 101 times. You don't wake up and just say, you want to be a super social worker, you're going to be a chef. Like, that wasn't even in my trajectory. Knowing everything, and I sit back and I look at my struggle plates to my now plates. And
struggle plates.
They were struggle plates. And I used to be like, wow, why did y'all book me? Like, what was wrong with you? But then I also look back last year at my work.
But that's growth, though.
And I feel the same way. I feel my last year's work was struggle plates. Because I'm like, wow, how did I advance? But I give a lot of my time back to the community. I give a lot of my time back to chefs that I want to emulate, or that I look up to, that inspire me. I reach out to people and I say, all you could do is tell me no. All you could do is tell me no. Havoc from Mobb Deep, he tells me all the time, like, just reach out to people. That's all you have to do. Just go up in them DMs. just send that message 3 to 4 times a week. Eventually, they'll respond to you. And that's what I would do, whether it was nonprofit companies, churches, artists, celebrities, actors, directors, and somebody gonna see it. And as soon as I see you see it, I'm following up with another message and hope that you get it. But it's just about, once you see where you came from and all that you've went through, like, I could have, not to be funny, I'm 37. I really, at 34, 33, I thought I was dead. I thought that my time was ticking. I knew that the next morning I woke up, I probably wouldn't have been here because that's how much pain I was going through. So to know that I'm still here, even though I have to still get follow-ups and checkups and everything like that, I'm still here and I'm still thriving. And yeah, we have our down months as chefs where we don't have no gigs, but I tell people, work on the business of your business. And when you work on the business of your business, it keeps you busy.
Mm.
Because when the busy seasons hit, you don't got time to do paperwork. You don't got time to find staff. You don't have time to give yourself back to community work. And that's the one thing Operation Hope taught me was whenever you attain something, like you reach a goal, give back.
Mm.
Don't get to making a certain amount of money or a certain level of prestige and think that you're just going to keep getting that without doing some good. And I come from a world of having nothing. So I know what it's like to just give your time back to a group home or give your time back to women who are struggling as parents. We do I have a company I work with called the Boss Summit. For 3 days, we take 30 women out of their regular zone into a mansion, and we teach them all about fundamentals. And I cook for them for 3 days, and they get to sit in the kitchen with me, talk, ask me 101 questions. But it's free game, and to me, that's even a source of community work. Yep. It's free game. It does not hurt to give free game. It's not going to kill you. It's really not.
Chef Catore is in the building. It's a sit down.
That was a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Let's make it a little lighter. So, what are some of the things you're working on moving forward? How are we gonna make the brand of Chef Catore bigger?
Okay. So, I am doing a pilot right now for another Food Network show. I've been on 3. So I've been on Food Network Chopped. I've been on Food Network Kitchen Crash. They flew me out to Canada for Food Network Canada cooking channel, The Fire Masters. That airs in April. I work very closely with somebody who does a lot of like commercials like Ford, and they work with TV One. And so we have a couple of, they want to start to do an actual segment on my life. So they want to turn the show
can see why.
into my life. So we're in the works of that now. I'm also working on a book, but it's not a typical like cookbook. It's more like what I'm doing is, and it's y'all can try this if y'all want, but it's already like branded. But so what we're doing is we're writing my whole life story from the age of 6 when I ran away, 6, 7 when I ran away, up until now. But every chapter is gonna have a recipe like from scratch to where I'm at now. So you're gonna see how I started with like box cakes, oodles and noodles, spaghetti and meatballs, SpaghettiOs, and how I like beef that up all the way to now where I'm doing, whatever, I can come up with in my head to execute and master.
Well, you've got a fan in me.
Oh,
If you ever need to promote or anything,
or
you need support.
Test.
I'm here for you. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
Let them know how to follow you if someone wants to taste your great food or take part of the lessons that you do. Let them know how to be a part of that.
Can I give a shout out first?
Go ahead.
All right. First, I'm gonna shout out you. Let me say, only because when I was at New York Fashion Week, it was literally so much noise. And you literally was like right here. And while I was talking to you, telling you my story, which came out of nowhere. And in those brief moments, you heard it. And I guess you saw power in it. And then that's when I met Cha-Cha. And you brought her over. He's like, Cha-Cha, you got to talk to Chef Catore. She got a story. And then now me and her, we talk all the time. We click. She's a wealth of knowledge, information, good energy. I'm very appreciative to Sha, the manager from Daniel's Leather. He connected me with Cha-Cha. He put me into the Daniel's Leather. And if it wasn't for Sha and Callie, I would have never met you. I'd have never met Cha-Cha. So I'm fully grateful for how small connections turn into bigger blessings.
Okay.
Follow me at Chef Catore, Chef ChefCatore on Instagram. My website is www.tasteofcouture.com. And I think that's like pretty much the main handles for life right now, right?
Got you.
So I appreciate you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you she had a story. Follow her, be a part of everything she's doing. And if you get a chance to taste her food, you should. She's a great chef.
Thank you.
Miss Chef Catore, thank you for coming.
I greatly appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sit down. Come and catch the vibe. Welcome to Easy Weekend.
It's Easy Weekends.
Cats can't see me.